Welcome back. It's Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and today we're going to do part 3 of the No-Sew Mystery Crochet Along. So far we have made these two cutie pies right here, which is the fat leggy froggy as well as the baby turtle. I loved seeing all of your pictures in the Facebook group about these two and all your creations you have made. Love them. And today we're going to do the third quick pattern. It's a little bit extra crocheting than these two, but worth it. And you're only going to use green yarn for this one, a teeny tiny bit of black if you wish to do so. That's optional, and I'll show you in the end. That would be for the mouth, but otherwise you're just using green yarn, and it's a very easy pattern. Trust me, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna want to make more of these for sure. And if you saw the written pattern already, you know what we're doing. So anyway, so let's get started. The very first thing I want to remind you though is we have a giveaway happening. Okay, so there's 4 different ways to win, and each of them gets 3 winners. So we have 12 winners in the end, and they're going to be announced tomorrow, because tomorrow is April 19th, and that's when our big no-sew party is happening. So we're going to announce all 12 winners right there. So let me go guide you through it real quick. Number 1, 3 winners are going to be pulled from those who signed up for this no-sew mystery crochet along. It's free. All you need to do is enter your name and email address. That's it. Enter that and you're good to go. And I'm pulling 3 winners from that collection. You have to have your full name in it though, because just your first name is not going to count, because I got to show it off who's the winner. So full name please when you sign up. Number 2 is you need to watch all 3 of these videos and answer the questions that are mentioned at the end of each of the videos, and then you leave your comments down below. I will check to make sure that you saw all 3 of them, watch till the end, and of course you answered all of those questions in the comments, and then I pull 3 winners from that. The third way to win is to actually finish all 3 no-sew quick mystery crochet along patterns. Even if you make a few adjustments here and there, that's fine. The most important thing is they're finished. That means there's no yarn end hanging off or anything. They're completely finished. You took a picture of all 3 of them at the end with the hashtag and posted into the Facebook group called Crocheting with Nikki by the deadline, which is April 19th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that way I can announce the winners at the party at 12 o'clock Pacific time on April 19th. The fourth way to win would be if you join the No-Sew Crochet Pattern Party. Highly recommend you do, because not only are we announcing the winners, we're going to talk more about no-sew crochet patterns, and we are also going to announce all the winners. And at the very end, we're going to have 3 questions. So even if you don't finish one of these patterns or something, still show up, because that way you can win. Everyone who is a crocheter is invited to this no-sew crochet pattern party. I'm going to have 3 questions at the very end, one at a time, and I'm going to pull a winner directly from those who join us live. So yes, you can win there as well. Okay, so that's all about the giveaway. So let's talk about how you get the pattern. Just like before, click the link in the description. There's 2 links right there. There's also a link, the same links in the comments, which is pinned, so it's easy to find. The first link takes you over to my website. It has the entire pattern free, but the pattern is not printable and has ads, okay? But there is a little table of content. You can click right there and you can jump directly to the pattern, so you can skip some of the ads if you want, but it's still not printable. And sometimes the page refreshes as the ads refresh. That's just how it works, okay? There's nothing I can do about it, but it does give you the option to join the Crochet Club if you want it ad-free and printer-friendly. Here are all the features of the Crochet Club, which you can join as a monthly, quarterly, or annual member, and it comes with over 500 ad-free crochet patterns, over 600 video tutorials, and we meet 6 to 7 times monthly virtually by either live video tutorials or Zoom chats, and we have additional perks. So many perks. Go check it out if you haven't seen that yet. You can join the Crochet Club and get all of these patterns ad free. I mean, it's a cool deal, right? Anyways, so let's get started. We're going to need some materials. We're going to use some green yarn. Remember, my green yarn on camera is not the correct color, but green is green. It doesn't matter, okay? Whatever green chenille yarn you have, super bulky yarn, I'm using using Ella Rae's Cuddle Yarn. Again, the green color may look different, but green is green, okay? And you're also going to need some polyfill, some eyes, as well as a tapestry needle, just so to weave in your ends, right? Maybe a little bit of worsted yarn so you can do your magic ring trick right there. And of course, you're going to need your 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. So if you need some tweezers, you may need those too in order to, you know, poke some of the yarn through or whatever you need to do. Tweezers are always helpful. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? All right, let's start with the legs. You're going to do 4 legs, okay? You're going to crochet ideally 2 at the time, okay? So start with your first set and then crochet with the second set, okay? So I'm going to do here one of them right now so you can see exactly how to do it, and then you're going to do this again for the second one. So we're going to do 2 legs at a time. They look exactly the same. Start with your magic ring. I like to use the acrylic yarn, worsted yarn as my magic ring like before. And we're going to crochet around it, and we're going to crochet 9 single crochets into that ring. You're going to close up your ring just like before and then make a knot. Okay, I'm going to use this here as my yarn end. And we're going to go into every stitch and we're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch. And you're going to do this for 3 rounds. So let's do that. 1 single crochet per stitch all the way around for 3 rounds. All right, once you have 2 done, you're going to connect them together. So as I said, you're going to do 2 legs at a time. So once you have your first one done, you're going to connect it over. So you're going to start with a chain of 1. You're going to take your loop, your hook out first, and take your loop and pull it through on one of the stitches on the other side. So I'm just going to do it right here. Pull that loop through. After I made my chain of 1, I'm going to adjust my loop to make sure it's not too big. And now I'm going to crochet into that chain and crochet 1 single crochet right on top. So here's 1 single crochet right on top of that chain. And now you're going to go in rounds and we're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch per stitch. And once you get back to that chain of 1 on the other side, you're going to make another single crochet into it. So here we go. So 1 single crochet per stitch all the way around. And then once you hit that chain of 1 area right here, you're going to crochet another one in. You can count to make sure your stitches are correct, right? So we made... So you know that at this point, this is where it's going to go into the chain again. So go back into that chain, make a single crochet stitch right there. Now you go back to the other leg, go all the way around, and you're going to crochet your single crochet stitches. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So at this point, you're going to stop and you're going to make the exact same thing one more time. So that way you have 4 legs. Okay. So I'm going to do a snap and I'll get you right to it. All right. And it's going to look like this now. You're going to have 2 sets. So what you want to do now is you want to slip stitch across. Okay. So you want to connect them kind of in a center. So let me pull this out for a second and hold it a little bit like this so you can see it. So we have... So it's like leg, 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 leg. So you want to connect it now in between. So you're right here in this spot. So it's going to be here is 1 slip stitch, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you kind of want an opening over here on each side. So that's kind of perfect. Okay. So 5 slip stitches across. It could be 6. It's fine. We're not going to use that center area again. So if you have an additional slip stitch, that's okay. So right here in the center, that's how we want to connect it. So let me show you. So you're going to hold it in place. Feel free to use some kind of tool to hold it, but make sure that they're even, okay? So you attach them. So I'm going to hold this in place and I'm going to grab a stitch from over here and go back over and I'll make a slip stitch. So here's my first slip stitch. Here is my second. My third is typically where that chain of 1 place is, right? So kind of here in the center, right there. My third. Then here's my 4th and my 5th. Again, you could make an additional one if you wanted to. So I'm going to pull this out here for a second so you can see. You can tuck in all your ends. And this is how it looks like so far. It kind of looks like, you know, like a little star kind of thing. So you have your 4 legs right there, and they're connected with slip stitches here in the center. And now we're going to go around it. Okay, so I highly recommend using some kind of stitch marker so you know exactly where your first stitch is from now on out. Okay, so you want to now go around it in a way that you have in the end 32 stitches. Okay, so however you want to do that, I recommend that you go around each of your legs and you use 8 of the stitches. So 8 stitches per leg. So I highly recommend you count. So here would be my first stitch. So I'm going to add my stitch marker right onto it, onto my first stitch. And then I'm going to count. I'm going to do 8 stitches per leg. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I'm going to do this again for all the other legs. So for every leg, you're going to have 8 stitches. So you're going to end up with 32 stitches. So let's do that, and I'll meet you back here at the stitch marker. All right, it's going to look like this. And you're now going to go into the next round. So as I said, you have 32 stitches at this point, and you're going to do now 3 additional rounds of just single crochet stitches. Okay, so 1 stitch per stitch all the way around. Keep using your stitch marker so that way you know exactly where you're at, and it's going to make your life so much easier because otherwise you don't know where to start, right? So use your stitch marker and now go all the way around and do 3 additional rounds of just single crochet stitches. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back right after that. All right, at this point, I recommend stuffing the legs already a little bit so you already have something in there. So they should be all even, and you're just going to add a little bit of stuffing inside. So we're now going to crochet until about here, and then we're going to add a little hole here in the back. That's where the tail is going to be at the very end. Literally, we're going to do that at the very end, but we're going to create it already so that way you can have it ready to go for us to crochet onto it. So we're going to crochet 1 single crochet in the next 14 stitches. You may add, less or more if need be, but the idea is that the hole here in the back is going to be even. Okay, so let's do that. All right, you should be about here. So it's kind of like more towards the outside of the leg. So we're now going to skip 6 stitches. So make sure you can count your stitches. You can kind of see them right here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. So we're going to go back into here. After that, first we're going to make a chain of 4, and then we're going to go into that stitch. So I may have to recount in case I don't remember where my stitch is. So it will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a chain of 4. And now skip 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go over here and then crochet 1 single crochet per stitch until the end of the round. So we're now going to go in the next round, and we're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch. So it doesn't matter if it's the stitch or like a single crochet stitch or the chain. So you're going to place 1 single crochet per chain. By the way, in case you didn't look at the pattern, there's going to be 12 stitches here after the chain is made. So 14 over here, skip 6, 12 over here, okay? And you have a chain of 4 in between. So in the next round, you're just going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch, and that includes the chain. So in each chain, you're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch, okay? So here would be the chain. So you just go into each chain and crochet 1 single crochet. So there should be 4 chains, so therefore 4 single crochets on top of that. And then you go back into your regular stitches, and then the hole's going to look like that, and you're going to continue until the end of the round. All right, we're starting to do some decreasing rounds now, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to first do our first single crochet stitch and add our stitch marker as normal, and then we're going to add 10 more single crochet stitches, those 11 in a row. And then once you have 11 done, you're going to do 6 decreases. So you're going to go through the front loops of 2 stitches like so, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's your very first invisible single crochet decrease. So now let's do that 5 more times. So go through 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that was the second and 6th one. And now you should have 7 single crochets left. And this should be 24 stitches at this point. You're going to move your stitch marker. We're now going to crochet 10 single crochet stitches. Always add your stitch marker back so you know where your first stitch is. And as I said, 10 stitches, so 10 stitches. And then you're going to do 4 single crochet decreases as the invisible one. So go through the 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that was the first one. This is the second, third, and fourth. And then there should be 6 single crochets left. Now let's continue with some more decreases. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in 8 stitches. Always make sure you add your stitch marker back. So this was 1. Now 4 decreases, just like we've done before, through the front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And you should have 4 stitches left. Then we're going to the next round. We're going to crochet 1 single crochet in the first stitch, of course, with our stitch marker, and then 5 more. We have 4 decreases to do. So this will be the first one, second, third, and fourth. And then there should be 2 stitches left. At this point you want to start stuffing. We're going to do 1 more round of decreases, but you want to add some stuffing at this point, otherwise you have a hard time getting to it. You do have a hole over here, so let both holes guide you, but it's time to stuff. I'm going to stuff mine. I'll show you how it looks like. All right, it's going to look like this. So you can always stuff a little bit more later, but this area kind of here is the more important one because you're going to have a hard time getting to that later. So this part can always be stuffed more, but this is the area you want to stuff. And we're going to do 1 more round of decreases, and it's going to end up with 10 stitches in the end. Okay, so right now we have 12, so we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. So 1, always add your stitch marker back, and then 5 more. We're going to do 2 decreases, so 1 would be here. Make sure your decreases are nice and tight. You don't want any holes, so keep your hook close and your loops tiny when you make your decreases. And then you should have 2 stitches left right here, so 1 and 2. So this is how it's going to look like. So feel free to add a little bit more stuffing at this stage, but you're going to stuff more as we are crocheting the neck. So this is good for now. You're now going to crochet 4 rounds of just single crochet stitches. So make sure you always add your stitch marker back. And as I said, 4 rounds of just single crochet stitches. So that's the neck, and then you're going to stuff a little bit more, and then we're going to start with the head. All right, this is how it's going to look like. Make sure it's nice and stuffed because you don't want the neck to be wobbly because it has to hold up the head, right? So make sure it's nice and sturdy. So by adding enough polyfill in it, it may look like it's coming out here in the back, but it's okay. There's still some room, right? We're good. So this area right here needs to be nice and stuffed. Okay, so we're now going to go and start doing the head. So let's do 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Add your stitch marker back. Then you're going to do 3 increases. So 2 stitches per stitch. So here's 2, here is 2, and another 2. So therefore you just created 6 stitches, right? 2 increases in each of the 3 stitches, and then there should be 6 stitches left. So now let's go in the next round. 2 single crochet stitches. So obviously add your stitch marker back. I know I say that all the time, but it's so important. So 2 single crochet stitches and then 5 increases. So that means over the next 5 stitches, you're going to add 2 single crochet stitches in each. So 1, then this one also has 2. This has also 2. So this is our 3rd one. Then is our 4th one, 2 stitches in each, and our 5th one. So it's going to look like that. And again, there should be 6 single crochet stitches left. Now you're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch all the way around. All right, and now we're going to do some decreases and then add some eyes. So in the next round, you're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch in the first stitch, and then a decrease. So go through the 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. You're going to do this all the way around. So 1 single crochet stitch and then a decrease. All right, it's time to add some eyes. So you have your face over here. So you're going to add them about 4 stitches apart, roughly. So kind of here on the side between this last and the row before. So this is the last row we did, and then the row before. So if I add an eye over here, kind of here on the side, then I'm going to count over. I'm roughly 4 stitches apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So would be over here would be the other one. And I'm going to check that they're even. It's okay if they're a little further apart. Just make sure that they're even. So you kind of look if this is even. I feel like this should be 1 over, maybe over here. So I'm going to look at this. This is going to point forward. Looks like the eyes are even now at this point. There we go. So I'm going to count again. Are they 4 stitches apart? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I just didn't count earlier properly. So they're 4 stitches apart at your backing. There we go. So eyes are in. And we're now going to do a little bit more decreases and close it up, but I recommend adding a little bit more stuffing at this point before you start to decrease. All right, I added a little bit more stuffing. I can add more stuffing as I go, but we're doing here the last round of just decreases. So you're going all the way around, go through the front loops of 2 stitches and make decreases. So add your stitch marker back so you know where to stop, and just crochet decreases all the way around. All right, now it's time to close. So I added a little bit more stuffing, and we're going to close it up just like we did with the turtle. We're going to weave through the front loops and pull as we go. If you pull too late, you may rip your yarn, so you don't want to do that. So pull as you go and go through the last row's front loops. And then when you're all done, all you have to do is weave in your ends. So make sure you do a nice job on that so nothing comes undone. Yes, you can add a knot somewhere if you like, but for me, I'm just going to weave it through. And remember, every time you come out, you go into the same spot again. So don't like go through it and over or something. Always go in the same spot. That way you're truly weaving it in. As you can see here, I just keep weaving. And then at the very end, I just snip it. And now it's time to add the tail. We're already doing very good there. So you're going to take your yarn, obviously, make a slip knot, and you're going to go around here now, and you're going to crochet 12 single crochet stitches evenly. So you should have 4 over here and then 6 down here, but I would recommend adding another one in the corners, so that way it's 12 all the way around. So again, there's 4 on top, 6 on the bottom, and then add 1 in each corner. Okay, so start over here. I'm going to start at the corner, and this you can use as your yarn end or just tuck it in. And as I said, first round is 12 single crochet stitches all the way around. And always recommend adding a stitch marker. So here I'm adding my stitch marker on my first stitch. So this was 3 stitches, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So make sure it's nice and even, so 12 stitches all the way around. Then you go into the next round. So take your stitch marker out, go into the next round, and you're going to crochet 4 single crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to do a decrease like so, and you're going to do this now one more time. So 4 single crochet stitches and a decrease. In the following round, we're going to do 1 single crochet in 3 stitches. So that was 1, 2, and 3, and then a decrease just like before. Go through the front loops of 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And now let's repeat that one more time. So 1 single crochet in 3 stitches and a decrease. At this point, I would recommend starting to stuff a little bit already. So we're going to keep decreasing. We have 2 more rounds of decreases. So in this round, 1 single crochet in 2 stitches and then a decrease. And then you repeat that one more time. So 1 single crochet in 2 stitches and a decrease. All right, last round of decreases. You're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch and then a decrease. And then you do this one more time. All right, now we're just going to close it up. So weave through the last stitches and then close and weave in your ends. Now, I do want to say if you want your tail to be a little bit longer, you can do 1 or 2, maybe even 3 single crochet stitch rounds in between each decreasing round. So that makes it longer. So if you want your tail to be longer, you can do that. I wanted a little stump. Okay, so if you don't want a stump, you can make it longer. Just add some single crochet rounds in between the decreasing rounds that you see in the pattern, and that makes the tail a little bit longer. So here I'm just going to weave this in real quick. And the last thing we have to do is add the mouth. Now that is optionally. If you want to add it, great, you don't have to. So if you want to add the mouth, you're just going to take again some black yarn like we did in the very first part, which was for the frog. So you're going to take your yarn, you go from the back to the front, and you're going to add a little line. Now you can add it the same way as I did before. So which means I'm going to go where I'm coming out over here, the same distance I'm going to go back in over here. And then I'm going to go right in the center between the 2 points. You can see that right there. So I think about here's the center. And I'm going to pull, and you can kind of see it's like a 3-point situation. See that? And you're going to pull this, and then you're going to pull this through and go over. So you make like a little mouth, right? So you go over and you go back into the exact same spot where you came from. And the same is true here in the back. Come out in the exact same spot. And then while you do that, you're going to adjust here as you need it. And it makes a little tiny cute mouth. So now you're going to just tie this up and tuck it in. This is where I usually use my tweezers. Make sure you came out in the exact same spot, otherwise you can't tuck it in. If you go over any of the green at this point, it's not going to be able to be tucked in. So here I'm using my tweezers to push it into the polyfill, and then it's all gone. And let me zoom out a little bit. And there you go. And we're done with our cute little dino, Brontosaurus, however you want to say it. Isn't it so cute? I absolutely love it. It's adorable. And this is now part 3. So you just made, let's see if I can hold them all. The froggy, you made the baby turtle. Let's see if I can hold them all. And you made the Brontosaurus all in no-sew. How fun was that? You made all 3 of them. So now it's time to take a picture of all 3 of them together. Use the hashtag you see here on the screen and post it into the Facebook group called Crocheting with Nikki with that hashtag so I can find and celebrate you. Plus, you qualify for the giveaway. So, and that means we have our party happening tomorrow, and I want to see you there. So your questions are going to be down here into the comments. You're going to place your answers, okay? So here's question number 1. Now that you learned how to crochet these 3 patterns, I want to know from you, would you like to have more no-sew crochet patterns from me? Is that something you're wishing for now that you learned these 3 cutie pies right here? Leave a comment down below and let us know, would you like more no-sew crochet patterns? And my second question is, name all 3 of them. I want to know all 3 of them. So for me, it's going to be probably Freddie the frog and Thomas the turtle, and then maybe Bruno the Brontosaurus, or Dominic the dino, however you want to say it. So what are your 3 names for your cute little animals? And the last question, yes, there's 3 questions today. The last question is, are you going to be at the party? So remember to answer all 3 questions and leave the comment down below with all 3 in the same comment. And that way I can pull one of you guys to be the winner for tomorrow's giveaway announcement. The party's tomorrow for the no-sew crochet patterns. So be sure to show up for that so we can announce all all 12 winners, talk more about no-sew crochet patterns, and of course, have fun. I am so excited. So show up for the party on April 19th at 12 o'clock Pacific time, and I'll see you guys there. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on the bell and get a notification next time I publish a new video or go live. You will see the pop-up right here for the party, and I'll see you guys then. Bye!